What's up, jig heads? Welcome back to the channel. I'm out here in the driveway doing a little prep work this afternoon. Going to be going to hit the lake tonight for some flathead, and going to be suspending some live bait underneath a float to hopefully get on some big dogs. But wanted to share with you my float rig, kind of how I tie that up, what it looks like, what I use, things like that. So stick around. Alright guys, so main line that I use is going to be a 65-pound braided line from Reaction Tackle. You can find a link for that in the description below. I use the high vis orange, definitely really easy to see at night, which in my opinion is important, so you guys check that out. I'm going to be tying the, I don't even know why I'm doing that. I've got a fresh barrel swivel and everything right here that I need anyway. I was trying to cut that braid off. Anyway, I don't know where I was going with that. Oh, leader. Going to be using 40-pound trilene Big Cat for the leader. That is a monofilament line. And as far as the leader itself goes, we are going to tie that a little bit shorter. I like to keep mine at about a foot when I'm suspending baits underneath the float. Hooks that I'm using, going to be the Whisker Seeker triple threat. Solid hook, man. The gap on it is just amazing. You really get a lot of good hook exposure on these hooks. Not on the hook itself, just going to be a quick snell knot. I take that through the front of the eyelet, wrap it around 9 times, and then take it through the back of the eyelet to snug it down. Just like that. To attach the barrel swivel, I'm going to use a surgeon's knot. It's just basically a figure-8 loop knot is what that is. If you guys haven't heard of that, real easy to tie. Double your line up. So double your line up like that. You're going to wrap it around and then back up and through that loop that you made there. And that's why they call it a figure-8 knot, because you got a little figure-8 right there. Snug that up. What that does is it allows your bait to be just a little bit more natural, presentational in the water when it's suspended there underneath that float. That's why I like that knot. I'll trim this tag end off. Leave a little bit of extra on that because that will cinch up a little bit once you get hooked up on a fish. So I usually leave about a 1/2 inch of tag end on that. But that's what you're left with, about a 12-inch leader. That one may be about 14 inches, but that's perfect for what we're doing here, guys. Alright, so we got our leader tied. Now it's time to get our bobber stop and float put on this main line. Going to be using just a traditional bobber stop. Run that through that black tube. You're going to slide that string off and onto the main line. Get rid of the tube, pull that up just a ways. And I don't tend to snug this down real tight until I'm ready to actually figure out what depth I'm going to be putting this in. So I'll just kind of slightly snug that up on the main line so it still slides pretty free. Next up, we're going to need a bead. So you got bobber stop, bead, and then we're going to use our super float. The super float I actually just had on one of my Saturday feature products on the Jiggin with Jake Facebook page. If you guys haven't connected with me on the Jiggin with Jake Facebook page, go check that out. I've got a feature product that I feature every Saturday. It's a product that I use. It's a product that I believe in. I just give you a little information on what I like about it and give you a link so you guys can check it out. Sometimes braided line and slit floats don't get along. They're a little bit tough, but there you go. So there's what we're working with, guys. Bobber stop, bead, float. And now we're gonna attach our leader to the main line with just a quick polymer knot. Again, double your line up, take that through your eyelet of your barrel swivel, wrap that line around, bring it through, and you've got a loop right there. You want to draw your leader right up through that. And then wet your knot, cinch it down. Now the reason why I think that this float rig is so effective, in my opinion, when it comes to catching big flathead, is that it keeps your bait suspended up off the bottom. It's going to keep your bait from hiding in rocks, other cover that may be down on the bottom, and it's going to keep it struggling to get down to the bottom, essentially. Flatheads definitely like something that's struggling. It's a little more appealing to them, triggers a bite a little bit more, so that's why I think this is important. But there we've got, again, our float to our leader. And what we're going to want to do next is do a down line for our sinker. So let me grab a little bit of 12-pound mono, and I'll be right back. Here we are. All right, so 12-pound mono. The 12-pound is important because particularly where I'm fishing, I fish a lot of rocks, stuff like that. So if this sinker gets hung up in some rocks, you want the leader line to your sinker to be able to break off if you're hooked up on a big fish, and it's going to keep you from losing that fish. With this, I just take about 2.5 to 3 feet. I like to keep my bait approximately about 2 feet off the bottom. Alright, so I attach this sinker with the 12-pound mono with just a simple tri-lean knot, guys. Set that aside. Try and determine just exactly how far off the bottom it's going to be. Probably about right there. Trim that off, and then now you could use a 3-way swivel on this. I personally think that just a standard barrel swivel is fine. What I'll do is I'll pull the knot of the main line up to the top, and then I will attach this leader line with the sinker underneath of it. And again, I'm just using a tri-lean knot on that, guys. So that's what that looks like, guys. That bait is going to be about 2 feet off the bottom. Probably end up suspending that in about maybe 10 or 14 foot of water, but it's a great way, again, to keep your bait suspended up off the bottom. It's a little bit of a funky rig to throw out, so be aware of that. Kind of takes a little bit of getting used to. You got quite a bit of line hanging when you make casts on that, but great effective way to definitely get out there, catch some catfish, definitively some big flathead with this rig. So anyway, hope y'all find that informative. If you do, please hit that like button. Consider subscribing if you would. It's free, helps the channel out, and I definitely appreciate the growth. So anyway, guys, remember, you can't catch them sitting on the couch. I'll see you on the next one.